You know that feeling when a story just gets under your skin?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Even if you, like, forget the author's name later, the story itself feels
hmm
ancient, like some kind of myth.
Even when it's actually quite modern.
Right. And the literary sorceress behind so many of those kinds of stories, Shirley Jackson,
Ah, yes. Shirley Jackson.
born 1916, American writer. Died quite young, actually, 1965, only 48.
Such a brief career, really, but incredibly impactful.
Totally. 6 novels, over 200 short stories packed into that time.
A huge output.
And our mission today on the deep dive is really to unpack her unique talent, how she found the unsettling, the disturbing in just everyday life.
That phrase someone used, the wickedness and normality, it's perfect for her.
Exactly. So we'll dig into that, look at her most famous works, the controversies they kicked up, how they're still being adapted today, ready to jump into the quiet horror of Shirley Jackson.
I am. And I think a good place to start is maybe acknowledging how she's seen as a reader's writer.
Okay, how so?
Well, her biggest hits, like The Lottery or The Haunting of Hill House, they've almost become bigger than her name, you know? They've sunk into the culture like myths or archetypes.
That's so true. You just say the title and people know that feeling,
Yeah,
that chill.
exactly. But what's really fascinating and maybe revolutionary is that her main subject wasn't really the paranormal in the usual sense.
Right. Not ghosts jumping out of closets.
No, it was, like you said, that wickedness and normality. She was digging up how things like conformity, repression, even just a normal village or family setup could slide into, well, psychosis, persecution, cruelty.
How did she do that? Make the ordinary so creepy?
Well, a lot of it is about complicity, denial, the way guilt shifts around. She doesn't just tell you, she kind of pulls you in.
Okay.
You, the reader, start to feel a bit involved, maybe uncomfortable. It's subtle, psychological, sometimes almost hallucinogenic writing. The line between what's real and what's in someone's head gets very blurry.
And she often focused on women, right?
Yeah.
Women feeling isolated by the social rules at the time.
Yes, very much so. Women struggling against expectations or being crushed by them. But then you also get this surprising dark comedy sometimes.
Right. Her memoirs, Life Among the Savages and Raising Demons, they're actually funny.
Hilarious, yeah. Anecdotes about her chaotic family life. It's such a contrast to the fiction.
It really is. And that contrast maybe tells us something about her own life influencing the work.
Oh, definitely. Sources mention her struggles balancing writing, motherhood, being a wife, leading to depression, anxiety.
And feeling like an outsider.
Yeah.
Living in Vermont, the faculty wife thing with her husband Stanley Edgar Hyman, the critic.
Exactly. That feeling apparently infused her writing with this creeping hostility towards the conventional world.
She even developed agoraphobia later on, became quite reclusive.
Yeah. She apparently believed her books would speak for her, refused interviews, didn't explain her work much.
Which is ironic because one story really spoke loudly, maybe louder than she expected.
Ah, you mean The Lottery?
Yep, The New Yorker, 1948, and boom.
Absolute firestorm, unprecedented outcry for the magazine.
People were furious.
Hundreds canceled subscriptions. The hate mail, calling it nauseating, perverted, vicious.
And a lot of people thought it was real, like reportage.
Yeah, which is wild. It just shows how deeply it hit a nerve. Imagine being the editor that week.
Oh, man. Phones ringing off the hook. And it didn't just stop there, right? It kept getting banned from schools.
Routinely. For morbid ideas, or the idea of a child stoning a parent, seen as an attack on tradition, the family.
But Jackson herself, she had a sort of grim satisfaction when South Africa banned it.
She did. She reportedly felt, well, they at least understood the story, which gives you a clue about her intent.
So what was the intent? Our sources quote her saying she hoped, let me find it, by setting a particularly brutal ancient rite in the present and in my own village to shock the story's readers with a graphic traumatization of the pointless violence and general inhumanity in their own lives.
Wow. Pretty blunt.
Yeah. So for anyone who maybe hasn't read it,
Yeah.
the basic plot.
Right. It's June 27th, beautiful summer day in a small New England village, annual tradition, the lottery, kids are gathering stones, adults are chatting.
Seems normal-ish.
Totally normal on the surface. Mr. Summers runs things, brings out the shabby old black wooden box. Then Tessie Hutchinson arrives late, joking around, until her family draws the marked paper.
And then she protests, it isn't fair.
Exactly, but it's too late. The village turns on her, stones her to death, including her own kid. It's brutal.
The horror isn't just the violence, though, is it? It's the the casualness.
That's the genius of it. The horror is the ordinary people doing this horrific thing because it's tradition, communal complacency leading to atrocity.
And the symbolism is layered deep. That three-legged stool the box sits on.
Yeah, sources connect that to all sorts of things. Ancient scapegoat rituals, her husband studied anthropology, the Salem witch trials, Jackson was interested in witchcraft, and even the Holocaust, the Nuremberg trials were happening around then.
That's heavy. Scapegoating itself goes way back, right? Leviticus, taking away the community's sins.
Mm-hmm. And it was tied to agriculture. That line, lottery in June, corn be heavy soon.
But seeing it in a modern town, what's the message there?
That maybe we haven't progressed as much as we think, and it ties into patriarchy too.
How so?
Well, think about Salem again. The lottery system uses household surnames run by men. Women, especially women of a certain age like Tessie, seem more vulnerable.
And Tessie speaks up. She questions things.
Right. She's maybe not sufficiently docile, which often got women targeted historically.
Makes you think of Hannah Arendt, the banality of evil.
Absolutely. Ordinary people doing terrible things, thinking they're just following orders or tradition. Jackson makes it so personal, though. It's your neighbors.
The politeness masking the brutality. It's chilling. Evil is just a failure of conscience hidden by routine.
And the routine itself is decaying. They've lost the original box, forgotten the chant, the salute.
But they remember the killing part.
Exactly. They still remember to use stones. It suggests this illusion of progress, but underneath, maybe we're just as savage, using tradition as an excuse.
It really does make you wonder, what unquestioned traditions do we follow today? Heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the lottery looked at darkness in the community, Jackson then turned inward, right, into the home, the mind. Which brings us to The Haunting of Hill House.
1959. Widely seen as one of the greatest ghost stories, period. Stephen King called it one of the most important horror novels of the 20th century.
So what makes it so special? That mix of supernatural and psychological.
That's the key, I think. She masterfully blurs that line. Is the house truly haunted, or is it all in the characters' minds? Or both? You're constantly questioning.
And there's a strong feminist reading too, right? Exploring women's mental health struggles in that era's society.
Definitely. How women trying to break free from rigid gender roles could suffer psychologically. It connects to what Betty Friedan later called the problem that has no name, that vague dissatisfaction and anxiety many 1950s housewives felt.
And Eleanor Vance, the protagonist, seemed to embody that.
Absolutely. 32, unmarried, spent years caring for her invalid mother. She's isolated, repressed. She comes to Hill House desperately seeking, well, home, belonging, maybe just something to happen.
And the house. Hill House itself is such a powerful symbol, this insistent hospitality, the maze-like layout.
It feels like it wants to trap you, consume you,
Yeah.
especially vulnerable women. Those concentric rooms, the windowless inner one, it screams confinement, physical and mental.
It's not just a backdrop, is it?
Not at all. The house acts. It preys on their weaknesses. And then you have these little poignant symbols, like the cup of stars.
Ah, yeah. Tell us about that.
Eleanor sees this little girl demanding her special cup and thinks, once they have trapped you into being like everyone else, you will never see your cup of stars again. It's about holding on to individuality, resisting conformity.
Which feels so important for Eleanor. And I was struck by her driving her own car there. That felt like a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's maybe the one clear act of agency she takes initially, taking control. In some of Jackson's other books, characters take a bus and they're passive, they don't succeed. Driving signifies being in charge, even if just for that journey.
But that agency is under threat.
Right.
From the house, but also the men.
Yes. Figures like Hugh Crane, the original builder with his rigid morals, and Dr. Montague, the investigator, who treats the women like spoiled children, exerting this subtle control.
And the haunting seems aimed at the women, Eleanor and Theodora. Those messages.
Help Eleanor come home. First in chalk, then blood. These visions, like a fake picnic, trying to push them back towards domesticity, conformity. It's like the house, or the patriarchal forces it represents, is trying to correct their path.
You see Eleanor just start to crumble under it. I'm tired of fighting it, she says, wants to surrender.
It's heartbreaking, which leads to that ending.
So ambiguous, so chilling. She accelerates the car into the tree. Apparent suicide.
But her last thoughts, I am really doing it. I'm doing this all by myself now, at last. This is me.
So is it self-actualization? A final choice?
You could read it that way, making her own decision, finally.
Yeah.
But it's also tragic, right? The ultimate cancellation of the feminine self, because maybe she sees no other way out, no path besides conformity or death. It's defiance and surrender tangled together.
Wow. Okay, so Hill House is the haunted mind and the haunted house. But then Jackson wrote, "We have always lived in the castle," 1962, often called her masterpiece. How is this one different?
It is often seen that way, yeah. Maybe because it feels like a culmination of her themes, isolation, persecution, community darkness, female bonds, but told through this incredibly unique, unsettling voice.
Merrick's voice.
Merrick Blackwood,
Yeah.
18 years old, the narrator, lives with her older sister Constance and frail Uncle Julian, completely isolated after the rest of the family was poisoned years ago.
And Merrick is, well, she's something else. Loves her cat, knows her poisonous mushrooms, wishes she was a werewolf.
Definitely unsettling. Constance is the caregiver, almost a mother figure, protecting Merrick, keeping house.
And the village hates them. But the Blackwoods are pretty snobby towards the village too, right?
Oh yeah, it cuts both ways. Total isolation. Until Cousin Charles shows up.
The intruder.
Yeah.
After the family money. Trying to pull Constance back into the world.
Exactly. And Merrick, who fiercely guards their isolation and her bond with Constance, instinctively reacts. She sets a fire.
Which backfires, in a way.
Yeah.
The villagers attack the house.
They do. They trash the place. But the ending, it's strange. The sisters barricade themselves in the ruins, the kitchen mostly, and eventually the villagers start leaving food for them. Guilt offerings, maybe?
And Merrick basically says, "I've got what I always wanted. Constance. We're on the moon at last."
It's this weird kind of victory, and that's where Jackson flips the script on the usual Gothic story.
How so? Usually the heroine escapes the scary house.
Right. But here, the ruined house, their confinement, becomes their sanctuary. A space of womanly solidarity against patriarchy, not a prison. There's no escape, but they don't want to escape anymore. It's a radical choice.
It's such a unique ending, and Jackson wrote so much more besides these big three.
Absolutely. Her range is impressive. The Road Through the Wall, her first, about suburbia. Hank's a Man, really ambiguous, maybe about mental breakdown. The Bird's Nest, multiple personalities that became the film Lizzie. The Sundial, satirical, end-of-the-world stuff.
And don't forget the memoirs again. Life Among the Savages, Raising Demons. Shows that whole other side. The comic writer.
It's essential to remember that side, yeah. Adds so much dimension. And her work just keeps getting adapted.
The Lottery had early TV, stage, radio versions.
Yeah.
Hill House had that classic 1963 film.
The Haunting, Robert Wise directed, Scorsese loves it, very effective, quite true to the book's feel.
Then the 99 remake.
Jean de Bont. Visually stunning, great production design, but yeah, generally seen as weaker, more cliches, CGI scares.
Compared to the 2018 Netflix series Mike Flanagan's The Haunting of Hill House.
Which was brilliant. A loose adaptation, used the names, but explored trauma, grief, really captured Jackson's emotional depth and psychological horror. Many felt it enhanced the source while honoring it.
And We Have Always Lived in the Castle got a film in 2018 too.
Stacey Passon directed. Very faithful, visually great look, but some felt it missed Merrick's inner voice, felt a bit cold.
Plus, Lizzie back in '57. And that recent fictionalized biopic, Shirley.
Yeah, she remains this total trailblazer, still studied, still adapted. They even created the Shirley Jackson Awards in 2007 for psychological suspense, horror, dark fantasy. Her influence is undeniable.
So wrapping it up, Jackson's genius really seems to be showing us that the worst horrors aren't necessarily supernatural. They're inside us, in our towns, our homes.
Exactly. The pressures of society, the weight of tradition, how they can confine us, make us cruel, sometimes without us even realizing it.
Her characters are so shaped by that wickedness and normality. Sometimes they fight it, sometimes, tragically, they succumb.
Finding freedom only in defiance or maybe self-destruction.
Which kind of leaves us, and you listening, with a final thought, maybe. If Jackson's characters were so affected by the ordinary pressures of their world, what seemingly normal things in our lives might be shaping us in ways we don't see.
What traditions do we just keep doing?
Just because, there's always been a lottery,